After a dominating performance at Gateway, Bentley Glazer clinching the championship one race early. There's still a ton to race for as we come to Phoenix tonight. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you for the Western States Racing League season number 45. Joined with me by my partner in crime, the man, the myth, the living legend himself over in the production truck, Mr. James Riles. And James, we were just going over points in our head as, those high-powered gazintas seem to screw both of us up at times. But there's still a ton to race for from about second to fifth.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're looking at a old points-based championship. No chase, no playoffs. So these guys are all fighting for hard-earned positions in this league. 2 drop points, so a little bit of variance there, but yeah, second all the way down to I believe fifth in a dead heat, trying to make the top 5, all behind Bentley Glazier, of course, who is just continued to put on a show right now. Great time at Phoenix. In fact, I don't think at a time at all. He's going to start in the back, but yeah, Ron Hollingfield second, but Jeff Hollingsworth, who we're watching in the top 3. Jeff currently in that 5th position, within 10 points of 3rd, and something's going to have to happen. Kyle McCartney, who I don't the race, he's not going to make it, so that's going to be.
You're absolutely right. I don't see Kyle here either. So that means that it is possible for Ryan Steele to surpass him in the point standings tonight with a good finish. Jeff Schmeier is only 4 points back from Ryan, and Jeff Hollingsworth's only 5 points back from Jeff. It's the Jeff and Jeff show in the top 5 right now. So, I mean, there's still a ton to race for. And I'm hoping Kyle makes it. But I think he said last week that he wasn't going to be able to. And that's kind of heartbreaking because he's had a great season.
Yeah, definitely had a really good season so far. Yeah, it should be a really good one. I'm excited about it. I know you're excited about it here at Phoenix. Got the open dogleg championship style racing. I know we talked about it earlier. We're on different ends of the spectrum here, but I absolutely love seeing these cars fan out right after the flag. They kind of moved that flag position to be more in line with the rest of NASCAR. And boy, that dogleg just really opens things up for these guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's really changed the character of this track when they moved the start-finish line to after what used to be turn 1. But I'm taking a look at the qualifying times right now. Team OGR locking out the first 3 spots: Charles Woods, Ron Hollingfield, and Jeff Hollingsworth. And then you've got 6th place, another OGR driver, Paul Crumry. Bentley Glazer sitting on pit road right now. Looks like he might be waiting for a little bit of cloud cover as the temperatures do continue to drop here. We will be under the lights as the lights are on right now. But quick look at our weather conditions. 77-degree ambient air temperature, relatively cool for the Phoenix Metroplex. 80-degree track temperature, and that's going to continue to drop throughout the night. Only a 2-mile-an-hour wind out of the north, so pretty negligible here in the desert. Pretty high water grain, though. 57% relative humidity. That's very abnormal for Phoenix to have it that high.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of humidity, a lot of cool weather in the desert. Must be a beautiful day there in Phoenix, Arizona. As I wish we were there right now. It's looking good.
Put a lawn chair up on Rattlesnake Hill and call it good.
Definitely. So it seems like everybody is pretty much. Dustin Burns, the only one coming out to take a lap in the final couple seconds here that we got. Let's see.
We got about 3.5 minutes left.
3.5 minutes, just enough time to make a couple laps.
Schmeier's rolling.
There we go. Jeff Schmeier, one of those that's in the hunt. Let's take a look at Jeff. Put up the information on what is happening in the qualifying. That's what we've seen. Even Bentley Glazier.
Cold tires.
Not putting down a lap, which is very uncharacteristic of Bentley. Well, maybe he knew that he wasn't good at this track. That's why he fought so hard in the regular season, right?
Well, that's probably something we're going to need to keep an eye on all night long, especially on restarts after these guys do have tire changes. You've got to be in that second lane coming off of what is now turn 2 to go down the hallway, because if you try to pinch it down coming off of that flat, what used to be turn 4, it's going to vastly unsettle the truck. And that's the last thing you want here at Phoenix, is to have that truck unsettled. Schmeier is on the clock right now, has a flyer going. Pretty decent lap so far.
Yeah, he's got it figured out. And in Phoenix, we talked about it, the open dog leg and how much that changes things. But just the track, I'll show you guys the track map. Very unorthodox track. Come into, what is this, 3 and 4 that Schmeier's on right now?
It used to be 3 and 4. That's now 1 and 2.
Yes, you are correct. So 1 and 2, definitely more orthodox. And then you got the open, called the open dog leg.
Here he is coming out of 4 now and into the dog leg, yeah. So
really widens out this track. You can go as low as you really want to. As Schmeier puts in a really good lap, going to put him in the middle of the pack of those that qualified in 8th. Yeah, it should be really fun to see these guys take this track, see what the strategies are for those that are in it to win it. Jeff Hollingsworth, Jeff Schmeier, a couple others here.
I mean, Bob Beltrani's got an outside chance of getting into a top 5 spot, but he's got to hope for a lot of trouble in front of him.
He got lucky. Since Kyle McCartney didn't grid up, he is going to be scored 0 on.
He's not even here. He's not even in the session.
Yeah, so he's going to be scored with 0 points for this, I believe. Already not counting his drops. So Bob has some bad things he wants to get off his record. He's going to have a really good showing here. He's about kind of outside of it, but he could do a little bit to get past Hollingsworth, Schmeier. It'll be close. It'll be really close for them. But yeah, we are excited to bring it to you guys. Of course, this is the Western States Racing League, one of the oldest leagues in NASCAR. Definitely the oldest one that we do. Their 45th season. I always like to go over this before the race. They were started in October of 19 NASCAR Racing 3. So these guys have been around for a second, moved over into iRacing in 2010. So, man, these guys know the tracks. They've been around for a while. Lot of iRating to be had here seen. So should be a really exciting one as we come to the end of qualifying. Your grid is set so far. Charles Woods with the fastest lap of the qualifying session will be starting on pole position there.
Absolutely. He's going to be joined with his OGR teammate out of the number 12 camp, that is Ron Hollyfield. Jeff Hollingsworth and Bob Beltrami making up row number 2. Carl Burke and Paul Crumry rolling off in row 3. Row 4 sees Wayne Hutchinson and Jeff Schmeier. Ryan Steele starting right behind his rival there for the second place in points. He is going to be joined with Julian Ricci in row number 5.
Then row 6 will be Dennis Fuson and David Weaver. Then we got Earl Weaver right behind David there, and Fred Williams, 14. Row 8 is going to be Dustin Barnes and Bentley Glazier. Row 9, Brian Barnes and Daniel R. William Fletcher, 19th. Gelman rounding out your top 20. Then we got Angelo Espo in the 333 there in first, rounding out row 11's complete. And then we got a bunch of Canadians coming in. Perry Phil, Eric Woods, and James Campbell, 22nd through 25th. And then rounding out the field is going to be Russ Kilgore in the number 7 Ford, deciding to not take a lap and get started there from the back. So a lot of work to do, but as we've seen in the finals, final little bit rotation of Western States, these guys are not immune to issues happening. Especially, we talked about it during practice, cold tires really playing a factor here, Tony.
Absolutely. And I just want to bring this up real quick. I'm really digging the paint scheme that Eric Wood has on the 85 tonight. Kind of an old throwback wood paneling on that Shelby Silverado. I dig it.
Find it here. You said wood.
Wood, yeah. Eric Woods in the 85, starting 24th.
So we're gonna try and get our cameraman to get a better angle at that. Yeah, looking real slick there in the back. Couple people deciding not to grid up. That'll be Fred Williams and Daniel Williams. They're gonna start from the grid as we get rolling here behind our Chevy Pace truck. 1 lap to green here, folks, as we're championship racing.
Absolutely. As a little bit different than how these guys are normally handling rolling behind the pace truck. The pace truck's getting ready to duck on off here, and then they've got to make it all the way down the hallway before the green flag's going to come out, as the field does work down the hallway. And the reason I call it that is because it feels like you're driving between the hallway between the kitchen and your living room sometimes. That's how tight it is. But we are settling in for 125 laps of action here at Phoenix. The only thing that's left to do is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness one more time. Race fans, it's championship time!
As we're going to get rolling here, Charles Woods has the button. Green flag is out, coming out of 4. Here they go. Ron Hollyfield getting on the outside. Charles Woods on the inside. We're going to start to see everybody fan out here coming into this dog leg. Right inside to see it. There we go. Not too many takers for the very bottom line there. Everybody kind of staying safe right this second. Long race to go. 125. As I say so, Angelo Espo having some issues on cold tires. He's going to go ahead and tow that down to pit road.
And that's exactly it. Cold tires, goes to roll on the trigger, and back end just completely steps out on him.
Yeah, the cold tires. Cold tires strike again.
Yeah, the track temperature's already dropped about 5 degrees since we started qualifying, as it is now down to 79 degrees temperature on the track, which is very cold for the Phoenix area. As far as track temperatures go, we normally see track temperatures here north of 100, all the time, but with the relatively cool conditions they've got going on right now, that's mildly scary.
Yeah, definitely. Got to get the truck rolling. Got to be able to apply that pressure. Phoenix is not a high banking track. You got to rely on getting to that outside and being able to put the track in, narrow it down. Not a flat track by any means, but definitely you don't have the banking to save you as you come to these straightaways, if you can call them that. They're hardly straight. So we're gonna continue to see a lot of that. And also worth noting, the iRacing NASCAR did just put out a new package. It's my clever way of saying we just had a huge, massive update, week 13 here. So maybe playing a little bit of a factor to what we're seeing. Quite possibly.
It's a good possibility. I will have to go check that out. If you want to take over, and I will go pull that up.
As I'm hearing already, there's a little bit of issue fuel numbers coming to the crew chiefs. They're getting the one to go on fuel here, which clearly they're not. They're ready to rock. So we'll see what happens. Is that Postal Service 40 is going to get the advantage, as I believe this league will go single file. They don't make a lap, but that's yet to be seen. If they're going to line them back up, do a full restart, as Angel Espo is deciding to out there. Scored a couple laps. So just to talk about a little bit of gains we've had already. Champion coming into this. We shall see here. Another thing to watch is they can go at any point. Once that truck comes in turn 2, I believe is when the truck comes in coming out of turn 2.
Correct.
They can go. We saw this a lot in the regular season. Once they opened up the dogleg on iRacing, moved that flagpole to where it is IRL, they can go at any moment. So that's definitely going to be to his advantage as the pace lights are off. Tony, you got it, sir.
Let me go live here. As the field working its way into the 1-2 complex, seems so weird. The platform is 1-2 now. That's going to still take me a while to get used to. But the pace truck is in. Charles Woods, driving the United States Postal Service number 40 Chevy Silverado, has controlled the field. And he's got 2 of his teammates right behind him. So friendly company up there at the front for Woods, working it into 3 and 4 now, and here we go. Flagman has the flag in his hand, and we are back underway.
Here we go. Charles Woods getting a really good start. Jeff Collins really trying to make a run here as Charles takes the initiative to get as low as possible there, coming out of 2. Else anything is here on the cold tires. 6 and 5. The issue with Dustin Burns getting caught on the inside.
Okay, so here's notes from the update that came through today from iRacing. There is a new damage model. And what they've done is they've adjusted it so we're most likely going to see less cars getting stuck in walls now.
That's always a good thing.
Right. They also fixed the issue where if you've completely wadded one side of your car, the crew wouldn't jack that side of the car up. They have fixed that with the new damage model. And tires for vehicles using the new damage model should visually adjust to banked corners better.
There we see the 97 jumping down as low as possible, trying to get the advantage. Roman almost down pit road on the number 40. He's going to have it here going into 3 and 4. That's what we're going to see all night, folks. That lane is available. You have to be very aggressive as the leader if you don't want that to happen. You're going to have to take that line away, possibly at the expense of your own line.
Yeah, absolutely. As Woods not using the entire dog leg, using a good deal of it, but not quite as much as some of the guys around him is. Jeff Hollingsworth, though, in command of this one, and I believe I just got word, Glazier. Wayne Hutchinson ripping one off.
Yeah, looking good in that 24 Toyota there in 8th place right now. As we got Paul Krumai in the 22. Jeff getting down in pit road, trying to get past the 3 of Paul Krumai. He's not going to have it this time, but he is setting himself up for a really nice pass here. If he can bring it down there, that's the disadvantage. If you don't get let up immediately by the car that you are passing, it's almost like a pseudo slide job. You're going to get pushed into that high line, which at this banking is not where you want to be. So it's going to drop out behind Carl Burke.
Well, that's the thing, is he's using that second lane to his advantage, carrying a little bit more speed. It's when you pinch it down like he was trying to do on Krumrai, that's when you run into the problems. If you can use that second lane, carry the momentum, that's going to be the key to victory here tonight at this track. That second lane, we've seen it time and time again, every time we've come here to Phoenix, especially through the flat section that used to be 3 and 4, which is now 1 and 2. So again, bear with me, it's going to get confusing for me too. That's where we see that second lane really paying dividends. As Beltrami's looking on the inside of Ron Holyfield. Holyfield in that second lane, able to defend. Got a little bit tail happy coming off of 2 as Beltrami had to check up just ever so slightly.
Oh,
And
look at
now
Paul.
Crumry making a huge dive down the apron. Gets about a truck length and a half separation between himself and Jeff Schmeier. So that battle for fifth is still hot and heavy.
Definitely, and you're going to see the law of diminishing returns come into play here. The more that you take that very flat inside track to try and make a pass, the more you're going to wear out that right front. It does not like to do it too often. You have to really arc into that turn pretty much more than the truck wants to. So really got to use that sparingly. You can't be doing it every lap. What we're really going to see is those late race restarts. We are rolling here. Jeff Hollingsworth got it out to about a second lead over Charles Woods. Ron Hollyfield there in third. Bob Beltrami holding down his fourth position, trying to attack the 12 Hollyfield. From Rye back there in fifth, waiting to see what happens. But you've got Schweimer.
And here comes Steele.
Ryan Steele, the 17 car. Always a play to have in back pockets to watch him try and work through these cars. So you got a huge battle here for the finish.
Absolutely. Throw a blanket over those four trucks right there and never count out Wayne Hutchinson in the 24 as he's now throwing his hat into the ring on this one. So Schmeier able to get position on Crumry. There goes Burke way down onto that dog leg. And he's looking to get a twofer here.
Yeah, and he might have it. It's just the disadvantage of trying to get back on the brakes coming into this turn. As they're going to touch coming out of four. Man, look at these guys battling it out. Ryan Steele in the back trying to see what he can. Oh, he got a truck loose. That was Dennis Fuson getting sent by Bentley Glazier. Bentley giving it up to him after that. Very good job by Dennis Fuson to catch that truck. He's got a ton of damage in the rear there as Schweimer takes sixth position.
Crumry sitting in fifth. Schmeier currently in sixth as Burke still running that low lane. He doesn't like to go to that second lane or top shelf too often. Not a big fan of it up there, but Schmeier able to defend well in that second lane right there. He's going to throw the block going into one as here comes, that is Ryan Steele on the outside of Burke now as they haul it down the hallway into turn three. Stem to stern, almost doing some bump drafting here at the mile at Phoenix.
Yeah, Schmeier really trying to get that truck wide, not let anybody by him, but Paul Crumry doing a really good job defending that lower lane. Not committing exactly, but able to get down there. Ron Highfield and Bob Beltrami trading shots here. Bob unable to get that position, no matter how hard he goes there into that turn. Again, this battle.
Here we go. Schmeier with the run off of 4. Crumry, though, way down onto that tri-oval. And Crumry's going to lose 2 here as Steele goes through as well.
It gives and it takes away, Tony. You can't be doing that every lap. That right front is going to be screaming at you. As we see Carl Burke taking evasive maneuvers to try and get past the slower truck. Looks like he's having a hard time. He's tight after using that too much.
He may have used his stuff up already, and don't look now. But here comes Glazier and Brian Barnes.
Yeah, wonder how much that damage here is going to affect Dennis Fuson.
Shouldn't be too much.
Maybe getting him, maybe popping that spoiler up a little bit. That might help him out later on. But
true story.
We'll see. Is up front of this pack, Steele and Crumry. Steele finally trying to drop that down. He's got the inside track here with the advantage.
That's Burke.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, that's Burke and Crumry throwing haymakers at each other for the 7th spot as Steele and Schmeier just running stem to stern right now, trying to reel in Bob Beltrami as Beltrami is all over the tailgate of the 40 of Charles Woods.
Yeah, this is where we're seeing that very cerebral racing coming into play. When do you drop down? When do you go there? When do you try and make that happen? As there's just side door to door out of 3 and 4 here in this group. Up front, Charles Woods. Bob Beltrami has finally made the pass on the 12 of Ron Holyfield. Now working on Charles Woods. He's going to get to the inside here. Very good job there. Right up that door, a little bit of side draft action coming in.
And here comes Schmeier to the inside of Holyfield, too. Holyfield, we were having him in the Nuclear Banana earlier in the season. Now he's driving Casper, that plain white wrapper, the number 12, as Beltrami works to the outside of Woods, able to maintain that second position. 4 seconds to the arrears off of your leader, Jeff Hollingsworth, in the United States Coast Guard, number 97.
And he loves to see these guys battling for Jimmy Spotter to keep telling them, yeah, they're fighting. Bob is trying to get out and run his line. That's what's crucial here. Being able to run your preferred line, not have to dive down and block, not have to worry about who's behind you and who's in front of you. Bob now is going to start cutting into that advantage, running his line, as Woods is just falling back like a rock here outside that clean air.
He may have gone too hard too soon and burned the right sides off already, as we're working lap 27, getting ready to put 27 in the books as Hollingsworth goes into 3 and 4. And just like that, we have 27 in the books of 125. Now, remember, they only have 4 sets of tires to get them through this event tonight. So it's the set that they qualified on, which is the set they started the race on, same set. And they got 3 sets in their pocket to choose from as the night wears on. So you kind of got to be mindful of when you're putting new tires on, as this track can be very abrasive on the Goodyears.
Especially the fact that they're going to be hitting lap traffic. Jeff's in the lead in his own right, up 4 seconds ahead of Bob Beltrami. He's going to be getting that lap traffic, by my calculation, probably about 6 laps. Yeah, 6 to 5 laps. So we'll keep an eye on that as Ron Holyfield has his rear view full of Ryan Steele. Ryan trying to make a pass here on that 4 higher on Holyfield. For a good driver to get with, that's the guy.
Yeah, Ron always is a strong runner. He doesn't always have the equipment to do it. Doesn't run full seasons with a lot of leagues, but when he does, he's usually in the mix, as you can see right now, holding down a very strong number 3 spot.
Just covering your points leaders, keeping you guys in the know. There we go. Bentley Glazier, of course, who is already up 10 positions in 6th place, making up for his qualifying run that did not go his way. Kyle McCartney, unable to show up today. He's sitting in 2nd in points. And we got Ryan Steele currently sitting in 4th. Ryan has had a really good showing here in the Western States Racing League. Couple wins.
A top 5 finish for Ryan Steele tonight puts him in 2nd place in points.
Definitely. And he's got 14 top 10s, 10 top 5s, and 1 win on the season. So he's always up there, always one of those that has a chance at it, and that is by no means not the case tonight. So he has a chance. Schmeier as well, currently sitting at 6th. He is 4th in points as we got another caution. Charles Woods involved in this one.
Oh, boy.
He's got a left rear crumpled, which usually indicates that somebody sent her a little too hard. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't on Crumry. That was bumper cars. Dennis Fuson wasn't expecting Paul Crumry to woe up like he did, and gave the chrome horn to Crumry, and Crumry gave it to Woods, and Woods went skidding.
Yeah, possibly a little bit of help from the 11 there, as he didn't have any chance to slow up. The 11 giving him a little push, and of course Newton's Cradle going into Eric Woods there. I'm sorry, not Eric Woods. Apologize, Charles
Charles.
Woods. But not too much damage. Able to keep it out of the wall for the most part was Charles Woods. It seems like Lottie Dottie, everybody's going to come down pit road other than Barry Phil, who might be rethinking that decision once he comes around on his own, probably trying to avoid a little bit of a congested pit road. He's going to take the penalty if he decides to come. And another one. See, master name. As guys, reminder, we are guys and gals. We are live on YouTube, Sports Broadcasting Network. I already see Kyle McCartney in the chat with us. Kyle, wish you could be here, race with us, but I know we got other stuff going. Kyle, we appreciate you showing up. Anyone else, if you want to go ahead and let your name be known out there in the YouTube world, we would appreciate you guys letting us know where you're from, who you're cheering for. What we like to do is give those guys a little bit of extra screen time if we see that they are the fan favorite. They are moving through. We got a full field here today, 26 trucks. So if you want your driver to stand out, let us know who you're cheering for. We will holler at them. There we go. Just like I said, Barry Phil coming down pit road. Reese Bentley coming down one more time to go ahead and top off.
Bentley might be thinking we're going to get a little bit longer green flag run than everybody else is expecting. As Ricci coming down pit road, Barry Phil finally coming down, Glazer coming down to top off, spending a little extra time in his pits. Not sure exactly what's going on there with Glazer. 13 seconds in his box.
Oof, I thought he might have left the session. Maybe a little bit of bathroom break there for Bentley. Yeah, look, 13 seconds in. Hopefully he didn't uncheck his tires.
Oh, wait a second. No, he's still on his way to his box.
He's out. He's out now. Bentley is. Because he came back down to, like you said, fill up. Make sure he's got enough to go as long as possible. We know Bentley has speed on old tires, so not really a factor if he stays out for a little bit. Not going to hurt him too bad as he's possibly trying to finish this thing out with only one more stop, possibly a second, just for a fuel run. As I think on fuel, these guys are going to be good. 27-second laps is the best time for most of these folks. So these they're going to tick away. Fuel's going to be fine for the most part. Tires are what's going to get you. If somebody decides to short pit you by a bunch, you may see that. But yeah, Jeff Hollingsworth, now your effective race leader, as the pace light truck has turned his lights off. Those wave arounds are going to get moving. James Campbell, Eric Woods.
In answer to your question, folks, yes, John is an English major. Or James is an English major, I should say.
Why is that?
That made absolutely no sense what you just said.
Talking about one to go. All right, that's all right. I'm in and out. Let's go. Jeff Hollingsworth is going to be your leader here. Pace truck's going to dive down. You got that. Boy, this pit road to the flag's longer than Talladega here at Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't move pit lane from where it has always been, as the field worked its way into the 3-4 complex and into the Red Cat restart zone. Hollingsworth looking a little antsy right now as he starts to pick up the pace, pulls the trigger, and we are back underway on lap 38.
Huge jump by Hollingsworth. Bob Beltrami caught sleeping there. He might lose a lot of positions. There we see everybody lining out behind him. Oh, man, that's what this brings to you, is we are already 3 wide here as we've kind of shuffled it back into 2. Oh, no!
Oh!
That's a huge one. Paul Kermai involved, the 24.
That's a parking lot.
Whoa,
Oy.
We got a car in the fence.
That was Julian Ricci catching more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games.
I'm going to go ahead and
so that started
try and figure out who was in that.
Well, it started with Holyfield on cold tires through the flat. Got it kind of wrong. And then the same thing happened to Crumry, who was down out of the way. Nobody got into him yet. But when Holyfield went around, it was right in the way of the 24 of Wayne Hutchinson. And Hutchinson absolutely nowhere to go, catches a race car to the face.
Oh, then yeah. Looks like he was helped around by the 3.
And then Crumrye bounces off the inside safer barrier up into Hutchinson. Hutchinson gets shot up the track.
And then from there, that's all she wrote, folks. You can't get these things winded down that quickly, especially in a go portion of the track, as Bentley tried to stay out of it. Just nothing.
Will Fletcher and Earl Weaver nowhere to go. Glazer catching a huge piece of Hutchinson. The 07 of Keith Kellman tries to lock it down, but gets run over from behind.
Take a look at the nose of Bentley Glazer as he's coming in. He's got the best view of the rear end of this crash.
Oi!
Yeah, that'll do it. Nothing, absolutely nowhere to go. It's bumper cars, folks.
And then Ricci just launches over Hutchinson and goes chassis first into the retaining fence. Jeepers.
Ooh, going for a ride in that Podium 1 machine. That's going to clear out the field a little bit, to say the least there, Tony.
Ever so slightly.
No fast repairs to be had here, I believe.
You are correct.
So that's
one fast repair.
Okay, one fast repair. So we might have some trucks coming down pit road a little bit quicker if they did uncheck that. First thing I always do is uncheck it and get involved in some stuff like that. Before you know it, I'm sitting in pit road for a couple minutes. Lakefield. VP was another one. You see William Fletcher, all those guys.
Yeah.
But pretty much the big gainer there is going to be Bob Beltrami, because now Jeff Hollingsworth has showed that he is willing to go as soon as he needs to get the advantage. So a little bit of mind games here could possibly be coming up, as Bob now has the inside line, which is the preferred line here by a mile, because you can go down. Nobody below you. You can go as low as you need to try and get the good restart.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at the nose on Bentley Glazer's truck, and yeah, that's seen better days.
Boy, what a good time to be locked in as the champion.
Yeah, I know, right?
Bentley Glazer is really just out here cruising tonight. Going to be putting on a show. He's got nothing to lose here. Absolutely nothing to lose by definition. So it should be a good one for him.
Pace
Everybody
truck
else
is in.
Really fighting. As we're going to go 1 to go. They did not complete a lap, so they're going to be lined up single file now. Jeff Hollingsworth, Ryan Steele, Bob Beltrami, your top 3, followed by Schmeier and Carl Berg. We get a little bit of a dirt restart coming off of 4. There we go. Jeff Hollingsworth hits it. Hits the loud pedal. Ryan Steele right behind. Bob Beltrami with a bad start. He gets a little bit squirrely. That's going to open the door for Schmeier. Luckily, Bob will hold down that inside line. Now we got a battle going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Beltrami and Schmeier no strangers to racing against each other, as Schmeier using that second lane to his advantage. Even early on in a tire run, that second lane is paying dividends, and I guarantee you, it's going to be the key to victory.
Carl Burke in the inside wall. He's got it on the apron. That's still going to call him. To get another yellow flag. This has been the tail of the tape for the first half of the races here, as everybody's pushing as hard as they can to try and advance their position in the championship.
Well then.
That one, yeah, Carl Burke kind of
just pulled tires again.
Like the 15 got caught a little bit there, pushed it away. Of course, this is after everything had already happened with the 15. Sorry,
and Burke has decided to put it on the hauler already.
Do you blame him?
He still had his fast repair in his pocket.
Phoenix will do that to you. It's a hard track to master. Of course, he had a lot of engine damage there, and with the time that it would take to tow, just deciding not to mess with it. So, yeah, folks, that'll do it for Carl Burke. Of course, your top 5 didn't change too much. Bob Beltrami shuffled back into that 4th position just because of when the yellow came out. Schmeier had the advantage. Brian Barnes up 12 positions in 5th. Keith Kelman in 6th. Wayne Hutchinson in 7th. Eric Woods up 16 positions in 8th. Nick Glazier in 9th. And Paul Krumrai round out your top 10. And Kyle, I have to agree with you in the chat. Says, holy crap, that was some carnage. It was.
Yeah, but we've seen worse.
We have. We've seen that happen. Of course, that was the worst place for it to happen. It started up front.
Oh, yeah.
And then the...
going into the hallway.
Yeah, wall-to-wall racing there, so... Go ahead. Caution. Here, just about... Quick cautions here. It's not going to take too much time.
But if you are liking the action that you are seeing when we do have some green flag laps going on, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on the ESPN Sim Racing Media family of broadcasts, as we do this every night of the week.
Yeah, definitely. Me and you working pretty closely all week, brother. I love to have you here, Tony. You're the best at it. So I love
well, it kind of reminds me when I was working 6 nights a week with Frank before the merger. So you're the new Frank. Congratulations.
Hey, there we go. From what I hear, I'll take that badge with honor. Of course, Frank on to bigger and better things. Doing this thing in the real world with CBS or the
CBS Sports Radio.
CBS Sports Radio. So went to do his dream job. Can't blame him for that.
Over on the left coast.
The left coast.
Yes.
Like it. I like it. Because we're going to get lined up here. Make sure everybody is good to go. Make sure that safety truck has checked in on Carl Burke. He's coming out of the infield care center, but declined the interview that we didn't offer him. We're over there in a different world. But Ryan Steele really in the driver's seat here to try and catch Jeff on the restart. But I don't think there's just too much time to catch somebody sleeping as the pace lights are off here. They're going to go side by side.
Well, the advantage right now is definitely going to go to Schmeier, as he can see Holyfield better than Steele can, as Steele working his way through 1 and 2. And Pacer getting ready to make that left turn onto pit road. There it goes. Hollingsworth has control of the field as they head down the hallway. Hollingsworth, Steele, Schmeier, Beltrami, Barnes, Kelman, Hutchinson, Woods, Glazer, and Krumrai rounding out your top 10. As they bring it into the Red Cat restart zone one more time. Hollingsworth with control of the field. Flagman has the flag in the air. Hollingsworth waits, locks, cocks, pulls the trigger, and we are back underway.
And just like you said, Schmeier able to take that inside line strictly to his advantage. Ryan Steele falling back to 3rd at the moment. That popsicle number 4 trying to make his way to the inside left quarter panel. We are rolling here. Top 5 lined out, but 6th is not decided yet, as Bentley Glazier still on the move. Going to pass Wayne Hutchinson for that 6th position. Everybody else trying to eke out in existence before everybody lines out. Pretty much on fresh tires still from that pit stop.
Yeah, we've only had about 2 to 3 laps under anger since the last time they were down pit road. But I got to like the strategy that Glazer was employing, being as he did duck down at the tail end of that caution where everybody did get their fresh shoes to top off the fuel tank. So ever so slight fuel advantage to Bentley Glazer right now. Hollingsworth sets quick lap of the race, 27.24. At least so far, that's a quick lap of the race. Schmeier, though, with a 27.26 and Steele with a 27.29. So these guys are picking them up and laying them down right now as we have 51 in the books.
moving really quickly here at this track. Dennis Fuson trying to get back into the swing of things, as it looks like he has got himself a new truck, got that spoiler fixed up. He's going to be in a better position, I'm sure. The brand list reward there, as he's got Paul Kermai, another one who was involved in some issues earlier. The pit crew able to get out there and make that truck looking like brand new, as they're closing on Keith Kelman for 9th position. Was up at 11, but he is going to be taking the safe way around here, letting these guys by for now with a damaged right rear. He doesn't want nothing to do with that fight. And Son now working on early.
Can't say I blame him for not wanting a piece of that one, because it is a little early in the race to be running as hard as some of these guys are. As Hollingsworth right now, almost 3/4 of a second to the good. Over second place, Jeff Schmeier. Ryan Steele about 2 truck lengths off of Schmeier, and you're another truck length and a half back to Brian Barnes, and another truck length and a half back to Bob Beltrami. And then you've got a pretty decent gap back to your champion incarnate, Bentley Glazer, who came into tonight having clinched the Season 45 championship 3 in a row for the driver of the number 87.
Definitely
3 championships in a row.
No gap. If I've got Bentley Glazer on my relative, I don't even think there's a gap there. You got to be pushing as hard as you can, no matter what. But definitely, if you got the 87 in the rear view mirror, you know you are not safe, as Bob Beltrami is now in that position trying to work with Brian Barnes, who's been absolutely flying through the field. Our highest, hardest charger right now in the 4 truck in 4th position, up 13. But Bob is no pushover here. He's been
he's not.
Had some bad luck the last couple of races. If you go through and watch him, Bob Beltrami has been involved in some early stuff.
Not of his own doing.
Exactly. And then had to push through the field. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But well, now he's up front. No issues in that Toyota. Hadn't really been in anything. Just been taken back and learning. Every lap here is a learning experience because of the way it's laid out. And that's what I love about it. You can really battle here. As we go back talking about battles, Charles Woods and Barry Phil getting a little bit of work done, as the 40 of Charles trying to wake his way back up there in that U.S. Postal Service brand new 40 truck.
And he kind of had to, too, because he got caught up in one of those melees that just completely destroyed that truck. So he had to go to the backup truck. But making the best of it right now, as he's flirting with the top 10 after starting on the pole.
Definitely trying to work to the inside of the 07 of Keith Kelman. He's going to have that position for now, but that outside line has such a run depending on where that inside truck goes. Take a look at Bob Beltrami. He's just past Brian Barnes for 4th position, a position he knows very well. He qualified there, spent most of the race there. We'll see if he can break into the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just flat getting it right now. Is Schmeier and Ryan Steele in front of them for second, stem to stern, as they come out of the dog leg and into turns 1 and 2. I kind of like the line that Schmeier's running. He's about a seam and a half off that apron, which it's still a shorter way around, but you're not pinching the truck off through 1 and 2 like we've seen guys do, and it just leads to trouble, especially this deep into a fuel run, as we've got about 20 to 30 laps under anger right now. And there it is. Keith Kelman.
Keith Kelman having some issues. We saw him try and make it through. That's right in that position where
he had help.
Damage on the rear of that. Yeah, I think you're right. That was Barry Phil.
That was a textbook pit maneuver for our law enforcement friends.
Yeah, a little bit of white space there, maybe some aero push, but definitely got into the 07. Luckily, not too much damage there other than that left rear. Be able to get that thing rolling, get back out on the track. We're under yellow again. The top 5 right now, pretty much everybody deciding to take that thing down pit road. Gotta think they know that they're either going to be able to A, make it from here on fuel, or B, be close enough to where this strategy is going to play off, where they can do a one-stopper from here on out.
they're gonna be able to do a one stopper from here, but we're gonna need to get a couple of cautions for them to make that happen. Now, the biggest question is, now we know that it's about 2 seconds worth of tire fall off after about 30 laps. So I dare say everybody's going to take 4 in fuel here. Schmeier down and away. And the race off pit road between Schmeier and Hollingsworth looks like give it to the double deuce.
Yeah,
wow, what a stop.
22 of Jeff Schmeier with the fastest stop of the cycle with a 14 seconds down pit road, 14.8. That's really good job for the crew
take a look at what the 14 crew did. Jeff Hollingsworth popped for speeding off.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Luckily, you're lucky that happened under yellow. Because it happens under yellow, you can serve it under yellow. He's going to be dropped to the back there on the inside.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Definitely did need to happen for Jeff, as he is one of those that's in the battle. Currently in 5th, needs everything he can to get by Schmeier and Steele.
But like we were talking about, that stop that Schmeier's team had, look at what the 14 crew was able to do for Bob Beltrami. Actually, no, don't take a look at that. I can't math today. Never mind.
But yeah, Bentley Glazier,
I thought that said 14:23. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, Bentley Glazier able to make up a couple positions down pit road. He is using full advantage of all the tires he's got. Might as well last race of the year. Hold anything back now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only thing you're going to be able to do is turn those things into coffee tables at the end of this race.
Here we go, folks. Lap 63 of 125. We appreciate you again for sticking around. Those watching live, those not watching live, we care about you too. Hit us with a comment. Let us know who you're rooting for. They watch the drivers do back and watch these. Get all the input that you guys give. As we are very excited to be able to bring you the oldest. Pace truck lights are off. Jeff Schmeier is going to have the button as we get going in that 22 machine. First time of the race that he's had a restart, so we'll see what he learned from Hollingsworth. Truck's going to dip down. Boy, it's like Talladega, man, I'm telling you. Steele on the outside, Schmeier on the inside. He's going to hit the loud pedal here, get him going. Popsicle 4 behind him in the Geico restart zone. Here we go, folks. We're going racing again. Lap 65 of 125 in the books as you see him get low, low, low. That popsicle stick of Brian Barnes able to take full advantage of the inside lane. Ryan Steele feeling the hurt as he is now back to 4th, and he's got the champion in his inside. Coming to it here. Oh, going to pop out. We got another yellow flag. That's going to be Reese. Another parking lot there at the back.
Yeah, absolutely. The 12 getting a piece of that one. Then 16 catching a piece. The 4, the 07, 15.
Top 4 heated north. 12. Oh, very unfortunate.
Ouch.
12.
Ouch.
On Holyfield. Wrong place, wrong time there. I don't even think Hollingsworth got out of that unscathed.
Yikes.
Look. A little bit of damage on. Oh, no, he did. He made it through, but the car in front of him is 6. Taking the main fleet. The Canadians. So, there we go, folks. We're going to go ahead and run to a commercial break. You're going to hear from our good friends over there at Red Cat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. Lap 69 of 125 in the books for the Western States Racing League Championship race. Jeff Schmeier out in front right now as we're about to take the green flag. Lights are off on the pace truck.
Absolutely, as here we go. Pace truck is in. Schmeier in control of the field. Single file restart since we did not have a complete lap made under green flag conditions. And it's time for good news, bad news. Good news if you're an 87 fan, he's sitting in fourth right now. Bad news if you're not an 87 fan, he's sitting in fourth right now. The field works its way into the 3-4 complex and into the Red Cat restart zone. Jeff Schmeier pulls the trigger. Green flag is out, and we are back underway. Barnes immediately looks low, going through the dog leg, trying to make up some ground on the 22. About a truck length and a half separation between your top two drivers.
Definitely, as we go truck to truck, that marksman and Schmeier really taking full advantage of having the button there. But Jeff Hollingsworth in the back of the field in 12th, having to make his way to no man's land right now, in the middle of that pack at 12th. But everybody else just trying to take it easy and make it do that next pit stop. We need about one more for hearing from those folks. Nobody decided to come down on that time. Got a lot of racing ahead of us. All these trucks in at least half a second of each other through the field. Schmeier, Barnes, Steele, your top three. Look at Barnes trying to take it as low as possible there. Trying to make up as much as he can. Then we got Lee Hutchinson and Bob Beltrami battling it out for 5th. On this battle. Pop off.
So, a little bit of track trivia. They used to run an event here in February called the Copper World Classic. Multiple divisions. Most of the USAC pavement cars were here. Midgets, Silver Crown, sprint cars, etc. As well as the Winston West series. The trucks would show up on occasion. Super modifieds would show up. One driver, and this is tonight's jury question, one driver won 5 straight USAC Midget Copper World Classics. Who was it? Bonus points if you can name what 5 years he did it in. It was 5 straight.
Give me a decade.
No.
Or later on. I'll get it out of you. We see Bob Beltrami trying to make something happen. You're unable to. Go back up front. Jeff Schmeier, we saw that he was running that. You talked about it a little bit earlier. That midline coming into the dog leg, not really going too low, not really hurting the truck too much. You have to do that as a leader to discourage those guys behind you from trying to steal some spots on you. You see Ryan Steele and Brian Barnes here going at it for 2nd position. Don't count Steele out. Why he's up where he is. This is a chess game. Trying to figure out, hey, is the guy in front of me going super low? Do I need to follow him? You're pretty much waiting for your position to open up, depending on what the guy in front of you does. We're going to see how long that he is safe here. Trying to let Schmeier, because every second that he's battling Brian Barnes, Schmeier is going to be stepping it out in open air.
Yeah, absolutely. It's up to 3/4 of a second now. As there he goes to the inside through the dog leg, side by side with Barnes. They haul it off into turn number 1. Barnes with the advantage on that second lane with Steele, full send it mode, gets the slide job done, and just like that, up into 2nd place, now sets his sights on trying to reel in the double deuce of Jeff Schmeier.
Yes, but not too quick. He does not want to overdrive this car and let Brian Barnes pull the slide on him. He's going to go down to that midline, kind of cut off that avenue approach. As we go back to Hollingsworth, who has already made his way back into the top 10, now working on Earl Weaver in the 46 machine. He's got a lot of work to go here. Try and break into the position. I'm sorry, in the play. in the championship.
Points standings. We got a little bit of a logjam starting to form up, though, at 4th place, as Wayne Hutchinson and Bob Beltrami giving Bentley Glazer all he can handle right now.
Definitely. That's what we're going to see. All these little onesies and twosies going to catch these cars as Bentley Glazer really trying to push, but unable to get to the back of Brian Barnes, as we got in the chat. Does he get a free popsicle if he wins? You know what? I just bought a bunch of them for my daughter today. I'll ship one over to him in the 4 car. If he picks up a win today, he'll definitely make the sponsors happy. Bob Beltrami not having as much movement as he would like. So
you're going to ship what to him?
Popsicle.
That's what I thought you said.
I hope that's what you thought I said. Popsicle.
I wanted to make sure I heard you right.
We got to keep up with the chat, man. What we're here for.
I'm trying to.
Kyle McCartney. It's his idea. I'll give out. Oh, if he gives out free popsicles, you know what? I bet he does. And you're first in line, Kyle.
Well, that was like when Ken Schrader was driving for Schwann's. You'd go to their hauler, and there was always a cooler full of ice cream.
Well, I like going to races now, hand out free monsters.
Anyways.
Yes, we got Wayne Hutchinson here. Finally, Bob Beltrami able to get there, but as you can see, that defensive line just so large here. What do you say we go to a turn it up here at lap 82?
Absolutely. And we are back here at Phoenix. as we are kind of watching Bentley Glazer right now, trying to reel his way ever forward as he's now dealing with Brian Barnes. Barnes getting all he can handle right now from the Gatorade number 87. And there we go. Glazer throws it down onto the apron. Doesn't have the momentum, though. And you got to think that as much as Glazer was battling through the mid-pack, he's severely used up those tires, but he still has a good amount of speed left in that truck. Battle, though, rages on up in front of him between Schmeier and Steele. Steele has reeled in Schmeier, now about a truck length and a half off the double deuce, as they have a second and a half lead as Glazer finally does get by Barnes coming through the dog leg.
Yeah, able to work that inside line here past the popsicle stick of the number 4. Bob Beltrami, however, made short work of Wayne Hutchinson once he had it, or Hutchison. And Dennis Fuson back there as well. But look at Hollingsworth. It's position now on his way to Fuson and Hutchison. Because that is battle. Other than our lead here, Ryan Steele trying to make anything happen. He's got some lap traffic coming up that he can help pick, which is absolutely going to be huge here because that's going to alter the line that Schmeier's been running his whole race. Possibly the more and more they get in deep with this lap traffic. He's got Dustin Barnes gonna got to be damaged in that 04, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. As Barnes has definitely had a night he just as soon forget so far. Kyle McCartney asking if it's possible for us to interview any of the drivers during the event. Unfortunately, sir, they are in a completely different program than we are, and we don't have access to them during the event. We have to actually wait for them after the event to get into the Discord server so that we can interview them.
But that is in the works. I hear they are migrating over to Discord for the next season, so we will have all those juicy in-race and, more importantly, the post-caution interviews. We like to catch them as they come out of the infield care center, so that'll be something to look forward to in season 46 of the Western States Racing League Truck Series, as I know I am excited about getting their take on stuff just from my talks with Bob Beltrami and these guys after the race. Wealth of knowledge, wealth of information, especially getting right out of the truck, and I can't wait to talk to him. Schmeier has his hands full still up front. Ryan Steele kind of, like I said, playing the chess game as he's going to let Jeff lead the way here. Use up his stuff. That way he doesn't really have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting near where the you can make it from here happens, and we're going to see guys bringing it down pit road to get that final set of tires and the last tank of Go Fast they're going to need. But while we are waiting for that to happen, again, tonight's trivia question. They used to run an event called the Copper World Classic here at Phoenix in January. One driver has 5 straight wins in the USAC Silver Crown division. Who is he? And what 5 years did he do it in for the bonus points? So one driver, 5 consecutive years, winning the USAC Silver Crown portion of the Copper World Classic. And I'll give you a hint, one of his relatives is probably in the field right now of this race.
There you go, folks. Nice Raceway. Copper World Classic.
Back when there's still grass in the dog leg.
Guess they got tired of the landscaping in Phoenix. Kind of not the best place.
The water bill to keep the grass green had to just kill them.
Oh, definitely. As Dustin Barnes is going to take the high line, let the leaders go by, but that's going to open up the door. Ryan Steele not open wide enough. He doesn't want to commit to that bottom line yet. But that's kind of what we're going to see on through here. Is that don't look now. Bentley Glazer is already making his way up to where he can sniff that draft. He's going to be up there before you know it. He's only a second back right now from Ryan Steele.
Yeah, absolutely. As those guys are just picking him up and laying him down right now. as we are 26 to go of the 125 laps here. Schmeier, Steele, Glazer, Barnes, Beltrami, your top 5. Glazer and Barnes both up 13 from where they started this piece.
Definitely. Brian Barnes having a very good run for himself in that Popsicle 4. Of course, Bob Beltrami now going to be working on the Ford lap truck of Dustin Barnes. He's going to make that no problem. Dustin's going to right away there in the Geico restart zone. But Dennis Fuson, he's had his hands full the entire race, and now Paul Krumai on the back bumper, trying to make something happen here for 8th, as Jeff Hollingsworth is already went by. That's who's battling, Fuson and Hollingsworth. Sorry.
I was about to say, I didn't see a pink Hooters truck.
There it is, way back on the back stretch, about 5 seconds back. You are correct there. Because now that is Wayne, Jeff, and Dennis working for 6th. But man, hard to keep your eyes away from this battle up front. Jeff Schmeier, Ryan Steele. Ryan matching tit for tat every move that Jeff Schmeier makes. Just waiting for that opening and see who's coming down.
Who's going to blink first? Because you know the undercut is huge. You take a look at their fast lap, 27.26 for Jeff, 27.29 for Ryan, 27.38 for Bentley. Their last lap, 27.56, 28.56, 28.62, and 28.37. So right about a second fall off after about 40 laps.
Yeah, and they're battling 3 wide ahead of them to try and keep that lucky dog position. That is Wayne Fleet, James Campbell, and Keith Kelman. Not too far ahead of your leaders. I wonder if that plays into your factor if you're deciding to short pit or not. If you can short pit and kind of take yourself out of the situation that's about to happen, coming up on 3 lap cars that are battling for position, that's definitely something to think about. As Schmeier gets into the wall a little bit coming out of 4.
Just a light touch. Nothing too major.
Just the tip of that Goodyear on the right rear doing a little bit of rubbing there, as Bentley Glacier has already made his way back up. So now the pit strategy alters greatly when you see what's in front of you of Wayne Fleet, Kelman, and Campbell.
Well, the thing is, if you pit under green, you're going at least a lap down. And you have to weigh the pros and cons of, okay, when I go a lap down, if these guys actually stay out, am I going to be able to make up enough time in the remaining 20 laps of this race to be able to get there? I think all 3 of these guys are praying for a caution right now, though.
Yeah, definitely. And especially a lot of these guys, if you're not running Crew Chief or you're not running a third-party application, we already heard that the iRacing mileage counter was finicky. So crew chiefs don't have all the information they need, possibly, to tell them, hey, you're good to go till the end, or you might be a couple laps short. So something else to take into effect here.
Normally it's about a 50 lap run for a tank of Go Fast here at Phoenix.
Yeah, so depending on what they're running with their setup, how much fuel they put in on the restart, that's definitely going to play in factors. But Glazier's to the back of Ryan Steele. Now Ryan Steele being in a position that he hasn't had to be in this entire time, while working through lap traffic. More lap traffic in front of him. The race for the lead heats up, as just like we predicted, lap traffic playing a huge role in this, as we already got one in the wall.
That was a 15.
That was Campbell, and he's blown that truck up. He's going to have to limp that thing in. No caution, though. Schmeier, the first one through lap traffic, but it put him off his line. Now
we're
almost 3 wide there. Now they're going to line them up. Oh,
they're
man.
Trying to wreck.
Oh, try as they might. Kelman able to hold that truck together. Somehow, Wayne Fleet and all them able to get
Schmeier into the wall.
Oh, that's going to dig at him. Steele to the inside, out of position. Bentley having to pinch it a little bit lower than he wanted to. He's going to get unsettled. Not enough to matter, though. Now he's going to the inside. Ryan Steele, your effective race lead for now with the champion Bentley Glacier behind.
Steele doing what he can to try to gain as many points as he can tonight on Kyle McCartney. McCartney not in the field tonight, and Kyle, we're sad you couldn't make it tonight, but these guys are putting on a hell of a show in your absence. Glazer and Schmeier finally get it sorted out for second. Schmeier limping that wounded truck around, and I got to say the lap trucks they were working by were not doing these guys any favors. I mean, they were just 0 Fs given, as far as the leaders coming up on you.
Yeah, and that's championship racing. You can't give way to anybody, especially, not anything by Kelman, Fleet, or Burns. They've got to race their race. They're in middle of the pack. It's not like they're in last place or nothing. They're top 15, trying to get as many points as they possibly can. They just caught them at the wrong time. I'm sure if they were lined up and cruising, they would have given the right away, but nothing says you have to if you're trying to battle for position. Who's going to tell them that they got Steele, Glazer, and Schmeier coming up on them like a rocket, So kudos to them for keeping it clean. They did what they had to do to not get into them there, as they didn't push Schmeier into the wall. That kind of happened on his own, as Hollingsworth now passing Wayne Hutchinson on the inside on a mission to try and get up there if something was to happen. Oh, but Wayne's not making it easy. He's going to pinch him down low. Oh, man, that is a lap truck.
Julian Ricci in the one who has already wadded that truck numerous times tonight. The fact that he's still running is nothing short of a miracle. And here comes Fuson as well. Looking to make it a 3-car tango.
We'll see if he can get there in time. Hollingsworth wants this to be as short as possible. Hutchinson wants to kind of elongate this thing out, as he is the disadvantaged vehicle on the outside there. Hollingsworth unable to make it happen. We'll keep an eye on that battle as we go through here, man. Side by side, nothing doing, neither one dropping. Oh, Hollingsworth going to close the door, not taking the inside route. Oh, getting into the back a little bit. He's going to have to brake. Get on the binders. That's not going to hurt him too bad, as they are still side by side. What a racing move to slow down there and not turn the 14 or the 24 to do it right.
10 laps to go, and these guys are racing it out like it's the final lap.
I mean, with 30-second laps, it might as well be, as you really got to start pushing right now for Hollingsworth to make it up to 6th place. There you go. Finally going to complete that pass. Get in front of the 24. Up front, Ryan Steele, you got to think they're going till the end here. Nobody's coming down pit road with 10 to go in the top 10.
Not unless they absolutely have to. As Hutchinson looks to the inside of Hollingsworth, going through 3 and 4. Side by side they go. Now Hutchinson with the advantage. He can either pinch Hollingsworth up or go down on the apron. Hollingsworth having none of it. Just keeps his foot in it and stretches a gap.
Wayne showing why he deserves to be in the top 10 in the conversation, is he's not had a bad season himself. Wayne currently sitting in 8th position. He already has gained 1 over last week, trying to get past Bob Beltrami and Brian Barnes for points, which I don't think is going to be able to happen right now, but showing why he deserves to be in the top 10 of the Western States Racing League, battling with the very, very formidable competitor of Jeff Hollingsworth.
And as we are getting into the closing laps tonight, we are going to give you the answer to tonight's trivia question. And that question is, one driver during the Copper World Classic, which was traditionally held in January here at Phoenix, one driver won 5 straight USAC Silver Crown races. That would be 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, and 2006. And that would be the late Dave Steele.
Yeah, Ryan doing a good job on the namesake there in front of Bentley Glazier, which is not something that a lot of people have been able to say in the closing laps of a race for the Western States. As it is happening right now. Another lap car down. That is going to be the TAN 15 machine of James Campbell getting out of the way. Doesn't want none of that none of those problems.
He's cheese grated both sides of that truck, so not having a good night. As we are 5 to go, Steele leads Glazer by about a truck length and a half. Schmeier, though, 2.5 seconds, almost 2 3/4 seconds back now in third, with a 3/4 second gap back to Brian Barnes in fourth. And Barnes is battling for his life right now with Bob Beltrami. Here we go. Glazer looking to the inside. 4 to go. Thinking about it through the dog leg. Steele, though, able to keep the momentum wound up. Running that little bit higher line, about a truck width and a half off the apron. Able to carry a little bit more momentum down the hallway than Glazer was. As we are going to be 3 to go this time across the stripe.
That's just enough time for these lap trucks that are ahead of them to come into play here, and that's exactly what Glazer's waiting for, is he does not want to ruin Steele's race, as he already has the championship locked up. But if he gets a chance at a pick here, if he gets a low line opened up, which they're on old tires. These tires are about 60 laps older than what they started with, so very, very hard to make an inside pass work here. As Brian Barnes, you said earlier, trying to get up to Bob Beltrami, Bob in fourth, but this race up front, oh man, it's gonna be close here as we got lap traffic moving up the track. Bentley Glazer trying to take that high line, get a little bit of a run here, coming to the 1 to go after 3 and 4. We'll see if he's got anything for Ryan Steele as ahead of him. That's the 40 of Charles Woods.
And the 85
and Eric Woods battling
White
it out.
flag in the air. Glazer looks to the inside of Steele, coming through the dog leg. Has to duck in behind him as they go into 1 and 2. Behind the lap trucks who are racing for position 11th and 12th in front of them. Coming down the hallway for the final time. Steele blocks the inside. Glazer's going to have to do it the hard way if he's going to do it at all. Coming out of turn number 4 for the final time. Ryan Steele wins the battle. Bentley Glazer wins the war.
What a finish, as we still got it going on. Brian Barnes and Bob Beltrami trying to figure out what's going to happen here for 5th. That's going to give it to Bob Beltrami as he makes it through. Then Dennis Fuson in 8th. So we're going to watch this battle that almost affected the leaders, Charles and Eric Woods, going at it.
Looks like Eric's going to be able to hold off Charles coming across the stripe, and that is going to do it.
That's going to make this thing official. Ryan Steele going to be able to burn it down here in the final race of the season for the Western States Racing League. Really going to help him out and secure that 2nd position in the overall championship standings. He doesn't want no more of that truck. He ain't even going to burn it down. He's going to come down pit road. And, folks, we're going to talk to our top 3. I say we talk to Glazer first and then catch Ryan. Or, I'm sorry, talk to Glazer last, as he is the champion.
Yes. So we'll talk to Ryan, then we'll talk to our 3rd-place finisher, Jeff Schmeier, who, according to my high-powered exenses, that's 2nd and 3rd in points as well.
Going to park it right there on the O'Reilly's Auto Zone, or O'Reilly's Auto Parts zone there. And what a finish. We're to go ahead and send it to commercial break just until we get these guys in here. As we said, there is a little bit of a delay because they do have to come in, but once they are ready, we're going to cut that commercial short and bring them in. What do you say?
Sounds like a game plan.
And they are ready to go. We've got Schmeier. We're going to cut that Kaiju commercial short there, as we did see on the side-by-side Ryan taking his obligatory donut to the crew. What do you say you pull him in, Tony?
Who you want to talk to? Ryan first?
Whoever.
We will talk to Ryan first. Ryan Steele winning the battle tonight here at Phoenix, and I believe that cemented you into second place in points, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if I got second, but I'm definitely glad to come away with a win that was actually on pace as opposed to just tire strategy. So it feels good to end the season on a good note.
Well, you absolutely had the pace here tonight, and made some good headway too, up 8 spots from where you started this piece, and none of it was dumb luck. It was all hard battling. Talk us through just how difficult this track was on cold tires tonight.
Oh, it was definitely a bit of a handful. I've been saying for a while now that the force feedback in this particular vehicle just feels absolutely numb to me. So I had a number of times when I was in practice where I'm coming out of whatever turn 3 is called now, because it's not turn 3 anymore, and going, oh, that's weird, I'm spinning. Why am I spinning? I didn't feel like I was spinning. It was very hard to predict what the truck was going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that entering the hallway really caught a lot of guys out here tonight. It was a parking lot there, more than 1 point. But Ryan, you kept the truck clean all night long, put it exactly where you had to defend and pass. Just a performance suitable for someone to finish in the top 3 in points here in the Western States. Congratulations, sir.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much.
So, season 45 is in the books. What are your thoughts as that season comes to a close?
Well, I'd say overall, my morale's been kind of low, and I know this is kind of ridiculous for a guy who might have got second place in points. But across all the series I've run in this year, I haven't been running as well as I'd like. Certainly, I've been running well in some places, but I think the primary thing for me has been a lot of these races. I'd come in and I'm looking at Bentley Glazer, I'm looking at Jeff Schmeier, I'm looking at Jeff Hollingsworth, and Kyle McCartney, and going, I have to beat these guys, and I need to beat them every week. And I tended to only beat them when they didn't show up or when they crashed. And I wanted to be better than that. If I did get second place in points, it's probably just because of people that had more misfortune than me.
It's just been confirmed you have third in points, sir.
Yeah, okay. And that's not too big of a deal. But again, this is why I'm glad to have a race where I actually outran those people that I'm talking about. I'm hoping I can carry it through to next year.
Well, you bring up an interesting point with all the changes that iRacing has thrown at these trucks this past season. It's taken a lot of skill to adapt as quickly as you have, and that shows why you are one of the top contenders in this series.
I suppose. I certainly haven't adapted as well as Bentley and Jeff have, where they've been a class above the rest as far as I'm concerned. I guess I don't know what else to say.
Well, Ryan, we're going to turn the floor over to you. Who do you need to thank for this race and this season?
Well, as always, I got to thank my Dog Bear teammates, as they always help me prepare in this usually the limited amount of practice time I have to race every day. And I got to thank you guys for covering the series, because it makes it much more fun that I have a method for my friends who don't live in the same area as me to be able to watch what I'm doing. So that's very valuable to me, and I hope that continues.
Well, Ryan, you put on a hell of a show tonight. Congratulations on your second victory this season. Looking forward to seeing what you can do in season 46.
All right, hope to see you soon.
So that was our winner, Ryan Steele. And James, I believe you have the man that finished in third tonight with you.
That I do. Jeff, man, congratulations on a very hard fought third place finish. Tell us about the track and what it took to get there.
Oh, it was definitely a hard one, especially when the tires wore off. I was able to keep them behind me for a little while, but man, that track tightens up, and once it tightened up, it was hard to. I was able to defend a little bit by just running the high line, but once the lap traffic came into place, then it was then a then it was a bit of a crapshoot.
Definitely. Were you expecting the long green flag run after that last caution, or did that come as a surprise for you to not be able to come down and pick up some fresh good years?
It's not a surprise to me. I mean, um, this series prides itself on some on getting some long runs done. So whenever it happens, I'm always ready for a long run when they come along.
Definitely well spoken. So, sir, you finished really well in the season standings. We don't have the officials up yet, but definitely top five, if not locked in there at fourth. What has it been like running with the group of guys that has been around so long and knows how to throw this truck around the track?
Oh, I love running with these guys. I have a bunch of teammates. They're the one that got me into this league. Bob, we're teammates, and he told me to come over and race over here, and I've been having just an absolute blast. And then getting to watch the broadcasts and getting to have my parents get to watch it, my friends and everything. It's been just a blast racing with this league.
Definitely. Well, getting you out of here, letting you go celebrate the good season after this with the boys, and just tell us who you want to shout out, who you want to thank, who's on the truck tonight.
Of course, gotta thank my teammates. Ryan got himself a win, wore me out at the end there, and then Bob and Brian got a top 5. Wayne up there too had a good run, and of course, gotta thank Bob again for running this league. I mean, this is just an awesome league to race, and then I gotta thank you guys for putting it on the screen so I can show it to my friends and family. And then my friends and family got to thank them and my beautiful girlfriend Beth. I love you guys.
Definitely. Well, we appreciate you, and hopefully we'll see you next season running, hopefully as well as you did this season, brother.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm hoping for a good season next season.
Here we go. Well, appreciate you coming in, brother. Good luck next year.
All right, thank you.
So that was our third place finisher tonight, Jeff Schmeier. Unfortunately, we don't have Bentley Glazer, but we did congratulate him last week for clinching after Gateway. But James, I know you came in kind of late in the season here, but what's your takeaway of the Western States Racing League?
And I talked about it a little bit in our podcast. You can find it wherever you find podcasts. I don't even know its name. Put a link up somewhere. Just amazing watching these guys, what they've been able to do for as long as they've been able to do it. I am more than thrilled, blessed to be able to call this race, especially with you in the booth, Tony, and fantastic racing all year long from when I've went back and watched. So love to see that. Love to see these guys able to come through and finish this thing out strong and clean like they did, and I can't wait for next season.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that I'm looking forward to too. After the first of the year, when these guys kick off season number 46, it just, it's like we talk about week in and week out. The average finish of the top 10 finishers, or average I rating of the top 10 finishers week in and week out, is north of 3,500 I rating, which is just insane. Those are numbers that you would see in a top split NIS race or NASCAR the full length NASCAR races that iRacing puts on officially, where you get 200 drivers signing up. That's top split numbers. So some of the best as far as oval track racers, pavement oval track racers, show up here week in and week out to do battle. And, you get the action that we have seen every week here on track. Good racing, hard racing, clean racing. The fact that these guys did 66 laps under anger after that last caution came out, that's insane.
Definitely, and we wouldn't expect anything less from these guys. As we're going to go ahead and run through your results, give Bentley just a little time if he does decide that he wants to give you guys a championship interview. If not, you can catch it last week. He did have a fantastic finish, locked himself in as the champion. You can go back and watch that. But it is going to be Ryan Steele finishing out in the top position. Bentley Glazier right behind him. Jeff Schmeier, Bob Beltrami, Brian Barnes, and Jeff Hollingsworth, top 6. Of course, then we got Wayne Hutchison having a really good running, starting in 7th, finishing there as well, which a lot of people can say. Dennis Busan there in 8th. Paul Krumrei, 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is going to be Earl Weaver.
Eric Woods able to beat Charles Woods for 11th. Charles Woods coming in 12th. Barry Phil, Wayne Fleet, and Keith Kellman rounding out your top 15. Everybody from Barry Phil down a lap or more down. Charles Woods, the last truck being scored on the lead lap. Dustin Burns coming home in 16th. David Weaver 17th. Julian Ricci 18th after going on a wild ride there that brought out the first big caution. Caught a lot of air in that parking lot melee coming out of 2. James Campbell in 19th. Ron Holyfield 20th. 21st going to Carl Burke. Will Fletcher 22nd. Angelo Espo, the last truck to actually take the green flag, coming home in 23rd. Fred Williams, Dan Williams, and Russ Kilgore did not start.
So there you go, folks. We are not going to be able to hear from our champion tonight, but you guys can go ahead and catch him anytime we run Western States Racing League. There is a very high percentage, in if I have it up right, I'll tell you. But there's a very high percentage that he is going to be in here. Ran 15 top 5s and 7 wins on the season.
And the thing is, all those top 5s were actually podium finishes.
Yeah, so check out the race once we start up next season. Hopefully we hope to have those guys back. You can hear from him as well. But guys, we're going to go ahead and send it off after a fantastic race at Phoenix. Tony, you honors, please, sir.
Well, for the last time this season for the Western States, for Mr. James Riles over in the production truck, this is Tony Trapassa reminding you folks, have a safe and happy holiday season, whatever you decide to celebrate. If you don't decide to celebrate, just may you have the love of family around you. But remember, folks, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.